What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Ghostricks. Ghostricks, I'd say about a year ago, was a deck profile I did, and I don't know how, but it became my most viewed video until Predator Plants took that spot. But honestly, I didn't even know Ghostricks were that popular. So I figured, why not update it? Because there's definitely some changes I would make. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So first, I run 3 Ghostrick Mary, and yes, these are the Japanese versions, because for some reason the Mary and Lantern are like $5-7 each. Well, I guess if Ghostricks is that popular of a deck, a card that's only been printed once, that's probably a fair, well, I wouldn't really say that's a fair price, but it makes sense. So rather than just proxying it, and also rather than just paying like $50 for all of it, I figured just buy the Japanese ones, kind of the mill. So Ghostrick Mary is pretty much easily the best Ghostrick monster. Now, all the Ghostrick monsters have basically a restriction to where they cannot be normal summoned unless you control a Ghostrick monster. So that is one bit of a downside. Or once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. And when you take damage, you can discard this card, special summon one Ghostrick monster from your deck in face down defense position. So it summons a Ghostrick monster from your deck in face down defense position. I also run the 3 Lantern. This one, once per turn, you can change this card to face down defense position. Now, all the Ghostricks have that effect, but the cool thing with Lantern is when an opponent monster declares a direct attack, or when a Ghostrick monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. Mary and Lantern are the only ones who have effects that can activate from the hand. Next, I run 3 Ghostrick Fairy. Fairy, when it is flipped up, you can target one Ghostrick card in your graveyard. Set that card but banish it when it leaves the field. Then you can change face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense positions up to the number of set cards you control, which is really cool. So it's like a Book of Moon, but a lot stronger than Book of Moon. I also run the 2 Ghostrick Skeleton. Skeleton, when this card is flipped face up, you can banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck face down up to the number of Ghostrick monsters you control. So if you control 5 Ghostrick monsters, just banish 5 cards from the top of your opponent's deck, and depending on what they're playing, that can be really good. But if you're going against a combo-based deck, then that is going to do very well. You could probably banish a combo piece. I also run 2 Jingashi. When this card is flipped face up, you can add from your deck to your hand 1 Ghostrick monster, whose level is less than or equal to the number of Ghostrick monsters you control. So it's a searcher for your Ghostricks. I also run 2 Ghostrick Neko Musume. Musume, when a level 4 or higher monster is normal special summoned, change that monster to face down defense position. So it's a floodgate in a monster. Although the one downside to it is that there must be another Ghostrick monster on the field to activate and resolve this effect. But if you have another Ghostrick monster on the field and Neko Musume as well, basically you're just going to Book of Moon everything your opponent summons. Unless it's a Link monster, but you can't use face down cards for a Link summon. I also run the 1 Morphing Jar, because Morphing Jar is, in my opinion, just the best flip monster. For a hand trap, I run 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and yeah, a Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon for a Dragoon plays, because Dragoon's just that good. Why not? One thing that a lot of these rogue decks, or I don't want to say it's rogue, but casual-based decks, is just that they have no power. Like Ghostricks, yeah, it's pretty cool, but with it being a flip-based deck, it's slow, so Dragoon can kind of like help counteract that slowness. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 Book of Taiyu. Book of Taiyu, you can flip 1 face down monster on the field. It's a reverse Book of Moon, which is really good, because the one thing with flip effects, they are slow. And this essentially just turns it into a normal monster. That's like saying you have a card for that allows you to summon a Gemini, that gives you an extra summon of a Gemini monster once per turn. I also run the 3 double summon, because most oftentimes you're going to just be setting them to start, and it's better setting 2 than 1, because this deck needs all the help you can get. I run 3 Pot of Prosperity. Now, the extra deck is okay, like if you want to use it, you can, but I'd rather have the draw, or not the draw 2, but the excavated power, and go into maybe something that I need. Because like the Ghostricks XYZ monsters, they're fine, but they don't have a lot of power themselves. So let's say you want to go into Verti Anaconda and then Appaloosa and don't want to even use your XYZ monsters at all, then you can just banish them off of Pot of Prosperity. I also run the 1/1 for 1 because Mary and Lantern are level 1s, and it's just another monster, just in case you want to go into Dragoon. And of course the 1 Red Ice for Fusion for Dragoon. Moving on to the traps. First, I run 3 Ghostrick Scare. Ghostrick Scary can target any number of face-down defense position monsters you control. Change them to face-up defense position. Count the number of Ghostrick monsters you can among them, and if you do, change it up to that many face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense position. So it's, well, this deck is more or less just a Book of Moon deck, where you just flip your opponent's monsters face-down. I also run the 3 Junk Sleep. If your opponent normal special summons a monster, you change all face-up defense position monsters you control to face-up attack position. And during the end phase, you can put them back face-down. I also run 2 World Legacy Pawns. World Legacy Pawns, you can target one face-up monster you control, change its face-up attack position. So it's kind of like running extra copies of Junk Sleep, but you can't change it back face-down, which is fine. Moving on to the X deck, I run the 2 Ghostrick Dualahan. Once returned on another player's turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card and target one face-up monster on the field, have its attack until the end phase. So it has your opponent's attack. One thing you'll notice, the Ghostrick XYZ monsters aren't really all that great. What you mainly want to use them for is to go into Zeus, because Zeus is really good. And the one cool thing is the Ghostrick rank 4 can actually be summoned on top of one of your other Ghostrick rank monsters. One of your Ghostrick XYZ monsters. Also run the 1 Ghostrick So Cute boss. It's a boss that's just so cute. You detach 1 XYZ material from this card, then target one face-up monster on the field with an attack less than or equal to the combined attack of all Ghostrick monsters on the field. Not really a good effect, but it's good for Zeus. I also run the 2 Ghostrick Alucard. Alucard, monsters your opponent controls cannot target face-up Ghostrick monsters for any face-down or any face-down monster defense. Any face-down defense position monster for attack except this one. You detach 1 XYZ material from this card, then target 1 set card your opponent controls. Destroy that target. You can only use the effect of Ghostrick Alucard once per turn. Next, I run 2 Ghostrick Angel of Mischief. You can also XYZ summon this card by using a Ghostrick XYZ monster you control as material. When the number of XYZ materials on this card becomes 10, you win the duel. So it's an auto win, essentially. Once per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, add a Ghostrick Spell Trap card from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can attach 1 Ghostrick card from your hand to this card as an XYZ material. Really, you're not going to be using it. The chances of you pulling that off are going to be really low, because unfortunately that's just really slow, and you're going to lose by the time you can get to that. But this will definitely help. So what you want to do is go into one of your first 3 Ghostrick monsters, go into Mischief, and then go into Zeus. Because Mischief can summon onto any one of your Ghostrick monsters, kind of like the Zodiac XYZs, and how they can be summoned on like 1 monster rather than having to use like 2 or 3 for their normal XYZ summon. I also run the 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon for Dragoon plays, and IP Masquerena package with Masquerena, Phoenix, and Cerberus. The 1 Predaplant Verte Anaconda, as well as an Axis Coat and Apollosa to round out the extra deck. So what do you think of Ghostrick? Do you think it's a pretty cool archetype? Do you think Master Roll 4 really did a number on it? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.